Can I start by reiterating, as always, that my thanks and respect for the officers that have been putting this stuff together over the past 11 months. If the Chief Exec and the monitoring officers have got any sleep, I'd be amazed with the amount of work that's gone into this. But the whole thing has been as shambolic as it has been unwanted, I think. We started off with our 9 proposals, then we went down to 3, then we went down to 2, then we went back up to 3, and now it looks like maybe we've got 4 because some people want one that's not even on the table. A lot of this debate and discussion has gone from people who want to see the city expanded, whether that's the right or wrong word, has been about how we feel, about where do you tell people that you live when they ask you where you live. Well, I tell local people that I live in Netherfield. I tell people who are from the East Midlands that I live in Gedling. I tell my family in America that I live in the middle of the UK. Like, I don't think we can just do things based on kind of feelings. I think there has to be some kind of evidence-based, and we have to listen to our people, and that's certainly what I intend to do this evening. I don't know if anyone actually watched the County Council meeting last week, the afternoon session. If anyone missed it for any reason, I would recommend watching it, because I actually agree with Councillor Smith. Sam Smith stood up and he said, option 1E will leave everyone worse off. They'll receive worse services and they'll pay more for it. And yet he's going to vote for it tonight. This is the absolute mad situation. And I've got a lot of respect for you, Sam, and I know you're voting for the least bad option as you see it tonight. But that is the absolute mad system that we are faced with. So we talked a lot about this process, about collaborative working, and the report that we've got in front of us was authored, I think, by the 4 councils that are going for 1B. But actually, in the report that the Chief Exec has written, his introduction, it sets out the extent of this collaborative working, which is Nottinghamshire County and Rushcliffe want option 1B, Bassett, Law, Gedling, Mansfield and Newark and Sherwood want 1E, Nottingham City want option B2, Ashfield don't have a preference, and Broxtowe don't want any part of it. So there are going to be 5 different options put forward to the Secretary of State, who is going to sit at his desk in London, presumably write them all on a piece of paper, put them in a hat, pull them out, here we go, here's your local government reorganisation. Absolute madness from start to finish. On the public engagement, I did a couple of engagement sessions in Cllr, and I know nearly everyone has done these kind of sessions, and the overwhelming majority obviously said that they don't want to join the city. But I just want to draw people's attention, if I may, Mr. Mayor, to paragraph 115 in our report pack, which I believe is on page 10, because there's some absolutely fantastic language in here from the Chief Executive. It says, the engagement exercise did not demonstrate strong public support because 58% oppose it. Now, in my mind, that actually demonstrates that a huge number of the public don't want anything to do with this whole process. And what a strong message it would actually send from this meeting and the other meetings that have taken place around the county of councils that don't want any part of this. If we sent a message to our MPs and to the Secretary of State that we don't want it. And if Westminster want to try and impose something on us and call it devolution, well, then let them. But I don't actually think they would have the guts to do it because they know the political cost that that would take. I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that option 1E was the favoured in Gedling. I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that option 1B was the favoured in Broxtowe and Rushcliffe. In Rushcliffe, and I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that Broxtowe doesn't want anything to do with the city, although they're in this in 1B and 1E. And I have said this before, but I'm going to say it again. By voting for 1E tonight, we are basically saying we don't want to be part of something, but it's good enough for our neighbours who live down the road. And I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to say that our neighbours should do that. But just at the back of the pack, if I'm not pushing my luck too much, Mr. Mayor, we've got the list of the number of councillors that we're going to have. And I draw everyone's attention to the fact that this new 1E council is going to have 96 councillors, which is absolutely massive. Probably be one of the biggest in the country, perhaps. But some of the the sizes of the constituencies and the number of residents that we are going to have. So, for example, the area that I currently represent in Cllr is going to be in the new seat on page 460, row 16 of Cllr, Carlton and Netherfield, 10,558 residents and 2 councillors. And that's not just looking after roads and things that county councillors look after at the minute. That is looking after everything, and it's going to leave our residents in Cllr and Netherfield in the south of Gedling having their decisions and their lives affected by councillors who live in Retford and Worksop and other parts that have no connection to our area, don't know the area, and vice versa. I wouldn't want to be taking decisions on things that affect Worksop and Retford because I don't know anything about those areas. This is, as Councillor Hughes said, this is not devolution. This is a power grab. We should call it what it is, and we should oppose it. And I just want to finish, Mr. Mayor, by pointing out that on page, I think it's on page 11, sorry, it says, I'll just read from the report, it says, at this stage, it is not possible to quantify the costs and benefits to the council and local residents. So we are being asked tonight to vote for something that is unwanted, unpopular, with no democratic mandate, and we're basically going in blindfolded in terms of the costs. So I think we need to be clear about what we're being asked to vote for tonight. I'm going to vote against this because I am against the whole thing, and I think it's a crazy idea and should have never got out of the Whitehall office that it started in. For the benefit of whoever does the Conservative social media, I am not voting against it tonight because I want to go in with the city, okay? Councillor Maltby, are we clear on that? I'm voting against it because I'm against the whole thing. And if we want to do local government reorganisation, we should have taken a hell of a lot more time than the 9 months that we've been given, because I can guarantee you, whichever council we end up with will be in 3 or 4 years' time in a mess. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.